Hey guys, it's Stacy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the top 10 male characters in my opinion from Supernatural. First of all, I have to give a shout out to Casey from Earth to Casey because she's the one who inspired me to do this video. She recently did her top 10 male characters, then her top 10 female characters, and I'm going to be doing the same. So for this video, I'm going to be going over my top 10 favorite male characters of Supernatural. Alright, so just to get right into it, my number 10 is actually kind of a villain. So I know it's kind of odd to have like a villain as one of your top favorite, although I guess in the world of Supernatural it's really not, because a lot of the other people on here are kind of villains too. But for my number 10, I am picking the Steinmen. If you'll remember from season 10, the Steins were actually the ancestors of the Frankensteins, and I thought that was the coolest storyline. If you remember, they tried to do like a spin-off of Bloodlines. I don't know if you guys remember that. I think a really cool spin-off would have been with the Steins. I know they're evil and bad, but I really think it could have gone somewhere. Also, I thought the Steins were oddly kind of attractive men, so that might be another reason why they're on this list. Not to sound too shallow, but yes, they're my number 10, are the Steinmen. Number 9, I have Crowley. A few of these characters that are kind of near the bottom of the top 10, I guess you could say, are mostly because as time went on, I feel like the writing of their character or their character just didn't develop in the way that maybe I was hoping it to, or it just wasn't as strong as it was in the beginning. So that's kind of what I feel like happened for Crowley. I think recently Mark Sheppard even said that he felt like his character was getting, like they were doing kind of stupid things to his character, and that's why he decided to leave. And honestly, I kind of understand that, because the Crowley we meet in season 4 is much different from the Crowley we meet in season 12. Not to say that character development isn't important, because it totally is, but by the end of season 12, I didn't really know what they would be doing with a character like Crowley, so I kind of understand why he left, but nonetheless, I love Crowley. That's the reason why he's in my top 10. He has some of the best one-liners in my opinion, and I really enjoy his character. Number 8, I have Gabriel. I really enjoyed learning Gabriel's storyline, especially in the beginning when we find out he's not actually just the trickster, but he's also an archangel. I loved the biblical huge storylines that included the archangels and the fall of Lucifer and the apocalypse. All that stuff near the beginning I loved, so I loved seeing the development of Gabriel's character. Even in these later seasons, I was so happy when they brought him back, and then they killed him off after like a season. I mean, I still kind of think maybe he's not dead, but I don't know if that's where they're gonna go in season 15, who knows. But I really enjoy Gabriel too. Number 7, I have Lucifer. I love Lucifer. I love Mark Pellegrino as Lucifer. Again, he's one that's kind of not near the top, I would say, of my top 10 because of the character development. I feel like more recently he's gotten kind of soft, and to me Lucifer is at his best in the beginning of the series, where he's just like completely evil and pure evil and wants to destroy the world. I did enjoy seeing more into his character and more into Lucifer's side in some of the later seasons. I loved what they did with Nick. I know that wasn't Lucifer, but it was his vessel. And I just think there were some weak points in Lucifer's character that I didn't so much enjoy. My favorite Lucifer is in seasons 1 through 5, but I love Mark Pellegrino. I think he's brilliant. I always enjoy seeing him on the screen. I would say that my top 6, there's not too much that I don't like about these characters. My number 6 is Rufus. I freaking love Rufus so much. One of my favorite episodes actually is Safe House, when Bobby and Rufus are working a case, and then Sam and Dean are working kind of the same case but at a different period in time. So I love seeing Rufus and Bobby work together. He's so freaking funny. I love when Bobby asks him at one point, have you ever been nice in your life? And he says something like, yeah, in the year 1984, worst year of my life. So freaking funny. Like, I love Rufus so much. I'm really sad that they killed him off too. Number 5, I have Garth. I absolutely love Garth too. He has a couple shining moments for me. I just love him because he's such a good person no matter what, but he's also not afraid to stick up for himself, even though he comes off maybe originally as kind of this lanky, dorky dude. In the end, he is true to who he is and very moral and upstanding. Probably my favorite moment with Garth is soon after Bobby dies and he tells Dean he kind of has to like stick up for himself and be like, hey, kind of stop being an asshole to me. Like, you're not the only one who lost Bobby. We all lost Bobby. So Garth is my number 5. Top 4 are really, really difficult. I can't lie and say that my top 4 aren't probably the typical favorites of Supernatural, but I can't help it. These are my favorites, so it's what I'm going with. Number 4, I personally have Castiel. I love Cass so much. Who doesn't love Cass? I do kind of miss Soldier Cass near the beginning, where he didn't really understand a lot of cultural references and that kind of thing. He still has that now, but I do miss that part of Cass. However, I do love that he is now full-fledged family to the Winchester brothers. Like there's no doubt about it. Dean even calls him his brother at one point. So I love that development. Again, not much I can't like about Cass. Of course he has his bad moments, but what character doesn't? So yeah, Castiel is my number 4. Number 3, I have Bobby Singer. Bobby is obviously a favorite. I love Bobby because he's very blunt and he's very good, and I really think that he was like a father to the boys in a way that John was not or could not be, whether he was alive or after he had passed. And I'm really sad that Bobby's gone. I love that they've brought him back in many ways, but Bobby is very, very special, I think, to this entire fandom. Also, a Bobby Rufus spinoff would be kick-ass, you guys, right? My top 2, as you can probably guess by this point, are kind of obvious. My number 2 is Sam Winchester. What is there to say about Sam? There are so many things to say about both Sam and Dean. Sam, I think, is probably, in my opinion, one of the most developed characters from season 1 to now. In a lot of ways, I think both Sam and Dean are the same as they were, and I think that's a good thing, but they've also totally developed. It's kind of funny when you watch season 1 because what the boys are fighting over is like so irrelevant now. Like they wouldn't even think about fighting over that at this point. But Sam, I think I'm probably more like Sam than I am like Dean, so I really relate to Sam. He's more sensitive in my opinion and a little softer on the outside than Dean. Dean is definitely still soft, but I think Sam's a little bit more willing to be vulnerable with himself and with others, so I love that about Sam. And Sam is just such a good person. He's always trying to do the right thing, and I love that about Sam. My number 1 is, of course, Dean Winchester. I love Dean to the moon and back, both Sam and Dean. I love Dean because he's very brave and selfless. Sometimes too selfless, I think people will argue. And he's also soft on the inside. He's not as willing to be vulnerable, I think, externally as Sam is. There's kind of a lot of barriers there, but I also think we see a lot of development with Dean. I loved that by the time we got to like season, I want to say 12, when Mary was back and he kind of got to go into her head and have this moment with her, which is like, he's kind of angry with her, like, you left me. That was a big moment for me, for Dean, being able to see that. I also love Jensen as Dean. His portrayal of Dean is just like none other. I don't think anybody else could play either Dean or Sam and have it go as far as it did without Jensen and Jared. I think Jensen does an amazing job. Kind of standouts for me would have to be that moment with Mary, like in season 12 when he goes into her head, but also the episode regarding Dean when he's losing his memory. That episode's fantastic to me. It's both funny and sad and moving. I think Jensen does a fantastic job in that episode. But overall, I would have to say that Dean is my number 1 because he's always trying to do the right thing. His heart is always in the right place, but he just cares about his family and his friends so much, and even tells Sam in the season 8 finale that there is nothing past or present that he would ever put in front of him. So I just think Dean really values family. Is probably his number 1 value, and I really admire that. So those are my top 10 male characters from Supernatural. I will be doing the female ones. Please let me know who your favorites are down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!